Welcome back to our virtual Sprouting Spoons cooking class. If you've been overcome by the heat lately, how about you try some of our watermelon and yogurt freezy pops? They're going to be delicious! For this one today, we're going to be needing a blender, about 3 cups of watermelon that I'm going to dice up, half a cup of any kind of yogurt you like. It can be flavored or plain, Greek or otherwise. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of sugar, about half of a lemon juiced, some paper cups, some sort of stick, or I'm using paper straws that I cut in half, and you're going to need some plastic wrap to hold those in place. So let's talk about watermelons real quick. Everybody knows that the perfect watermelon is a thing of beauty, but how do you select your perfect watermelon? Well, first you'll notice that it should be about heavy for its size, which means that you're going to pick it up and be like, oh my gosh, that's heavy. Then you're going to notice that it'll have a yellow spot on the bottom. You don't want it to be super bright yellow, but you do want it to be there. And you'll want all these little veins kind of coming through it, the brown parts that they call webbing. And that's going to show you that it's been out in the field long enough that it's retained a lot of water, but it's still fresh and delicious. Watermelons, as you probably noticed, are round, and that makes them a little bit difficult to cut because you don't have a flat surface for them to really sit on, and they can wobble around on you, and that's not very safe. So what we do to circumvent that is we hold it as tight as we can for the first chop, and we'll take the very end and just go straight down on it. Ooh. Yes, right in the trash can. And that gives you a nice flat surface. And then we can take our watermelon on the other end and chop around the side, kind of going around the curve with it. And you'll notice that you get some of the pink, but not a lot. But we can always go back and get that later. So we're going to just go a little deeper next time, following it around, and around we go. Whew. Drop it everywhere. So once your watermelon is all de-skinned, or all the rind has been taken off of it, you will have nice flat surfaces that you can put your watermelon on, and it's not going to roll around on you. After that, you can go ahead and just chop it into big, thick slices for you to eat as is. If you want, I'm probably going to steal some of this from myself because that looks delicious. Put that off to the side. Then you can just come through and very roughly give it a couple quick chops, giving this nice big dice pieces that we'll go ahead and measure out 3 cups of. I'm going to try to get more of the center pieces because those are the extra delicious parts, but of course I don't need to tell you that. This looks like a little bit more than 3 cups, but that's going to be okay, just because of all the little gaps that we have in there. So I went and just did about 4 cups. We're going to pour that into our blender like so, and then we're going to add in our yogurt and our sugar and all of our lemon juice. Again, that's half of the lemon, and we're just going to blend it up for you.
Okay.
Sick. Do you think we should just blend? So we're going to lay out our cups that we need so that we can mold our freezy pops into little tiny lickable pops, I guess. If you don't have little paper cups, you could use muffin cups with the little paper liners. You could also use a bread loaf pan that has been lined with plastic wrap, and then that will help it come out of the pan, and then you can remove the plastic wrap and slice it from there. But I find that using a little paper cup is the easiest way because when you're all done and they're all frozen, you can rip them up and make them really easy to enjoy. So once you have all your cups laid out, we're going to take our blended watermelon yogurt smoothie essentially, We're just going to pour even amounts into the cups. If you have a couple chunks, it's not a problem. That just gives the person who gets that one a little extra delight in there. And you don't have to use watermelon. It's just a perfect little summer treat. But if you happen to have any extra raspberries, blackberries, anything that ends with berry essentially, you could add that in and it would be just as delicious. Bananas would be delightful, anything like that. So this is a very versatile recipe. I'm just going to make 9 of these and woo, pour them in. This would be a really fun thing to do with kids as long as they had a little bit of a steady hand. You don't want them to splash the whole thing around the kitchen, I suppose. Once that's all divided up, you can take your lovely little plastic wrap and put it directly over top of all of them at once to make it easy for the freeze. This is going to allow something for the little paper straws or sticks to stand in while you get ready. And it's also going to prevent any of that freezer air to get into it while you're working, while they're sitting. One second. Just going to take a little knife and just poke a small hole for those paper straws to go into. If you were using skewers, they would be fine. Just to poke straight through the plastic. Just going to pop these in. So. Yep. Whew! Well, after that struggle bus, you're going to put them in the freezer for about 4 hours, or overnight if you're so willing, or if you can last that long. But if you found that that was a little bit difficult, as I did, you can wait for about 2 hours and the pop itself will be semi-set. And then you're going to go ahead and put the sticks in then. And that'll allow them to stay mostly upright. And then you can go ahead and freeze it for another 4 hours to overnight. So we're just going to take these into our freezer and then we'll see you later. Using TV magic, we're all done. So all you have to do now is take off your lovely little piece of plastic wrap that was holding all the little skewers, or in this case paper straws, together. And once that's off, you can pick them up, and usually you just press from the bottom or so and they'll pop right out. Ooh. Well, don't forget to like and share our video, and thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time. You might want to subscribe too. Thanks.